So let's get a little more fun. And what I mean by fun is we now have quadratics on the top and the bottom, or trinomials on the top and the bottom. We want to get a little bit more specific there. So we got to factor these. Now, before I can factor this one on the top, realize they do have a 3 in common in all of those. So let's take that 3 out to the front, just like we did with quadratics earlier in the school year. And then on the bottom, we'll keep the same. There's nothing that would factor out from there yet. And so let's go ahead and do our diamond for the top and the bottom. So for the top one, what multiplies to 25 and adds negative 10 would be negative 5 and negative 5. So this would be 3 times x minus 5 times x minus 5 all over. And then on the bottom, what multiplies to 20 and adds negative 9 would be negative 5 and negative 4. So that'll be x minus 5, x minus 4, and the x minus 5's cancel, leaving us with 3 times x minus 5 over x minus 4. And for another example, thought I would do this one just because it's a little bit more complicated on the bottom part here with the 36 minus 4x squared. Let me move this down a little bit so we're not distracted. So on the top part, let me just rewrite this. So we have x squared plus 16x minus 57. We'll figure that one out in a little bit. And then the 36 and the 4, we could factor a 4 out from. So we'd have 4 times 9 minus x squared. And so factoring the bottom, what you'll see is that we have a difference of 2 squares. So that's 3 plus x times 3 minus x. Going back to the special cases that we saw before. And then here, what multiplies to negative 57 and adds to 16? So multiplies to negative 57 and adds to 16. I'm picturing, right now, I'm trying to think. I feel like it's 3 times 20, so 3 times 19. Yep, 19 to negative 3. So we'll have x plus 19, x minus 3. Now notice with this one, these are not quite the same. But we can make them the same. So how are we going to do that? Well, we're going to go ahead and factor out a negative 1. So what that will become is a negative out in the very front, and then that'll become a negative 3 and a positive x. And now that they're the same, we can go ahead and cancel them, and we'll be left with negative, let's put the negative out in the front and the middle, and x plus 19 over 3 plus x, or really just x plus 3 is the same thing.